ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਥੈਂਕਸਗਿਵਿੰਗ ਡੇ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇਕਰ ਮੂਲ ਨਿਵਾਸੀ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਦਿਨ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਹੀ ਰਾਏ ਹੈ। ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਵਿਨੀਪੈਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਤੌਰ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਤਜਰਬਾ ਲੈ ਰਹੀ ਜੈਕਲੀਨ ਰੋਮਾਨੋ ਨੇ ਥੈਂਕਸਗਿਵਿੰਗ ਡੇ ਦੇ ਪਿਛੋਕੜ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਸਮੇਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਮਾਇਨੇ ਹਨ ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ।
I think it's fairly common, certainly with a lot of younger people. I mean, when you look at what Thanksgiving is celebrating and the sort of typical story of the symbols that were given, about early settlers having this, almost mythical dinner on this land, this first dinner to sort of celebrate the harvest. Basically, it shows a very non-Indigenous view, I guess you could say, of what was happening. Mm-hmm. It makes the early sort of early colonialism look very peaceful and almost like Indigenous people kind of voluntarily handed over the land and resources over to the new arrivals, which is generally quite a whitewashing of what history was actually about for Indigenous people. Basically, right? I mean, early colonialism was about forced displacement. It was about violence. It was about, we're in the middle of a pandemic now. Indigenous people faced all kinds of disease that wiped out some say up to a third of the population, if not more at the time. So it was really quite a traumatic time in history where there was a lot of suffering, misery. I mean, nowadays we're talking more about in terms of genocide, in terms of how Indigenous people experience that history. So it's not something we're particularly, likely to be thankful for. Right. Well, I mean, I think there are a lot of Indigenous people that do this, right? That sort of define themselves in terms of their culture, not just in opposition to colonial Canada, right? Indigenous culture, although there's, certainly many different ones across Canada, but many of them, would share basic principles like this idea of, relationships with all my relations across the land. Now that would include, the soil, the rocks, the land, the trees, right? Everything in the ecosystem that we have as our relations, and that, we exist because of our relationship. So the gratitude for everything that the earth has given us to survive for that year.
ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਰਾਉਨੀ ਕਰੋਂਬੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਥੈਂਕਸਗਿਵਿੰਗ ਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਫਲਤਾਪੂਰਵਕ ਮਨਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਕ ਸਾਂਝ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਕ ਦਿੰਦਿਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੀ ਵੱਧ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਫੂਡ ਬੈਂਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ 167% ਵਾਧਾ ਦਰਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ।
On behalf of the City of Mississauga and the members of my council, I send my best wishes to all Mississaugan residents for a memorable and joyous Thanksgiving. During this Thanksgiving weekend, loved ones will join together and reflect on cherished memories while making new ones. Despite the many opportunities and blessings that come with living in Mississauga, some of our neighbors continue to face ongoing challenges. Over the last year, the Mississauga Food Bank has seen a 167% increase in people accessing the food bank for the very first time. This is why we need your help to raise $400,000 and 200,000 pounds of food by October 17th. So if you can, please help us set a table for our neighbors by making a financial donation of any amount you can, or by donating non-perishable food items to the Mississauga Food Bank. For every $1 donated to the food bank is able to provide 2 fresh meals to those in need. There is no shortage of compassion in Mississauga. We are a city that cares for our people and want to do more to give back. And only by working together will we help end hunger in our city. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, Mississauga, and thank you.
ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਉੱਤੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰੇ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਭੰਬਲ ਭੂਸਾ ਜਾਪਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੈਕਸੀਨੇਟ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਰਹੱਦ ਖੋਲ੍ਹਣ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਅਜਿਹੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਟੀਕਾਕਰਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਟੂਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਬੈਥ ਪੋਟਰ ਨੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ।
We'd like to see one centralized proof of vaccine for all Canadians that they can use domestically and when they travel internationally. We have been talking to the provinces and really are encouraged that the provinces are willing to come together to work with the federal government. The election kind of got in our way a little bit, so I'm hoping that it's full steam ahead from here on out. There's still a little soft. There's a lot of hesitancy around traveling across the border because people are still a little uncertain about, what does that mean to be vaccinated? What does that mean to have testing back and forth across the border going each way? What happens if I go on vacation and test positive? Even though I'm fully vaccinated, how do I get back? There's still a lot of missing clarity for travelers. And so there's a little bit of lack of confidence still. And so we're just not seeing the numbers just yet. We're hoping to see those numbers increase once we do have a national proof of vaccine and we can provide a little bit more clarity and a little more comfort to Canadians as they look to make their plans, as well as international travelers when they want to come to Canada. Well, I think that every country has to look at, with their own processes and procedures. The U.S. is certainly also encouraging, that the vaccine is really the way out of this. It's a way for us to as global citizens, live with COVID among us. So I think that it is a good message to say we're ready to see those international visitors come back. And certainly, I know that there are a lot of Canadians that are looking for that opportunity to go south, whether it's to reunite with family and friends, or to visit, a second residence that they have in the States.
ਮਲੇਰੀਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਖਤਰਨਾਕ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਅਣਗਿਣਤ ਲੋਕ ਇਸ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਨ ਗਵਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਵਰਲਡ ਹੈਲਥ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਮੈਰੀ ਹੈਮਲ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨਗੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਿਰਿਆ ਜਲਦੀ ਮੁਕੰਮਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਉਪਕਰਨ ਖਰੀਦਣੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਚੁਣੌਤੀ ਸਿੱਧ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ।
As some of you may know, I started my career as a malaria researcher, and I longed for the day that we would have an effective vaccine against this ancient and terrible disease. And today is that day, an historic day. Today, WHO is recommending the broad use of the world's first malaria vaccine.
Yeah, well, David, you've probably heard that it's historic, and it really is a historic moment. We've been searching for a malaria vaccine for over 60 years. It's been very elusive, very difficult to find a malaria vaccine. And now for the first time, we have one that can be delivered, that can be given to children, that can reach them in high coverage. So it's an exciting moment in science, but more importantly, it's a very important moment in child health. It is a very tragic disease. The onset of symptoms is just a fever. If you're a parent, your child has probably had a number of fevers, but it rapidly progresses, and often it progresses so quickly that parents don't have a chance to intervene. So first, child is a little bit sick. Very quickly, it could go to shaking, chills, deteriorate into convulsions. The child becomes very pale as their blood cells are burst by the parasite itself. And then, as you know, your red blood cells carry oxygen to your vital organs, so they start breathing very heavily as their little bodies try to get the blood cells to their vital organs, deliver oxygen. And then they can go quickly into delirium and sadly coma and death. And this happens in a matter of hours. Average time from first fever to death is 24 to 48 hours.